All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is. And right here, we actually have the legendary bootleg of the Dayton family live on the line, man. How are you doing this evening?
Man, I'm great, man. Just hanging in there. How you doing, brother?
Oh, man, doing best I can possibly be. Just enjoying the last few days of the Canadian summer we got going on here, man. I don't know if you've ever been to Canada yet, but it definitely sucks, man. We're transitioning into fall right now, so all that beautiful summer weather is soon going to be gone.
Yeah, man, it's the same way over here, man. You know, they ain't too kind with me, man, on leaving the country. You know, me being that felon that I am. So they've been holding me from leaving and coming to Canada, man. I've been dying to get over there, though.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm gonna have to say this right down the middle. I'm not just saying this because you're on my radio station airwaves, man. It's not even the record, man. I mean, you could have a parking ticket and they won't even let you into Canada, man. It's my border system is ridiculous.
Oh, wow.
Like, I mean, I think it was, I want to say, I think the Game was trying to come over here to do a Canadian tour a few years back, and he had like a DUI from when he was 17. It was like expunged. They literally tracked it down and was like, no, you're not allowed in the country. He was 17, they wouldn't let him across.
Oh, wow, man. Yeah, because back when we went out on the road with ICP, I was talking to them about, you know, how it was in Canada, man, and we got a real nice following over there, man. I've been dying to get over there, you know, just to meet the fans and kick it, man, you know.
I gotta say, definitely, hopefully someday we can make that happen, man, because I gotta say, I think Canada is long overdue for a Dayton family concert. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
But also, Bootleg, I know you're a very busy guy, man, so I'm going to dive, like, right into this interview, but I want to take you back to the very early 90s, where yourself and Shoestring actually formed the iconic group, the Dayton Family. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners the story behind this group, and of course, how did all the members originally come together?
Okay, man, well, you know, basically, we grew up, man, Dayton Street was like our hangout area, man. That's where we trafficked in narcotics, and that's where we did everything. It was surrounded around Dayton Street, man. You know, to this day, my group member, Shoestring, still owns a house on Dayton. Matt, my group member, Backstabber, lived on Dayton. I lived 2 blocks from Dayton on Taylor. So when we were young guys, my younger brother, and Shoestring's younger brother, Tyrese, were good friends. So they challenged each other and said that whose brother was the best rapper. So me and String hadn't even met, and then they brought us together. Our two younger brothers brought us together. We rapped in front of my home for about 40, 50 people all day under the street lights, old school style. And at the end of that rap session, we decided to come together, you know, and do music together.
And I gotta say, if that's not repping where you're from, that definitely says it all, man. You know what I mean? That's truly repping where you're from.
Yep, most definitely, man. You know, Dayton, man, everything in our lives, man, like most of the music we made was, you know, those were highly true. We really didn't redact anything, man, when we was making, you know, a lot of the early music, man. It was all true stories off Dayton, man. All the, you know, Bloodbath on Dayton Ave and Dope Dayton Ave and all those records, man, was you know, all the names, the people that was true stories, true people, everything, real incidents.
And also, as well, you guys actually inked a record deal with the Atlanta-based record label, Po Broke. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners the story behind this record deal, and of course, how did you guys originally get discovered by Po Broke?
Okay, well, actually, Po Broke were friends of ours. We already knew Tony Dickerson and Ken Dickerson. They were good friends with Backstabber. Now, in the early days when the Dayton family first started, Backstabber was the financial backbone. So when Backstabber caught his federal indictment case and had to serve 10 years in prison, he introduced us to his friend Tony to help you know, pick up the baton and carry the, you know, the financial burdens. So Tony was the founder of Po Broke Records. He just moved it from Flint to Atlanta. So, you know, that's how we already knew Tony and Big Ken, you know, through my group member Matt. So we just transitioned over to Po Broke when Matt went to prison.
And I still remember when you guys actually dropped the debut studio album, What's On My Mind. I gotta say, one of the most legendary albums to ever actually drop from the Michigan area, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, What's On My Mind, man, you know, like I say, you can kind of see the transition of our group through the music, you know. But What's On My Mind, you know, it was like that was our, you know, me and String's first out the gate after our EP. We did a 5-song EP, which got us, on the radar of record companies. We did that ourselves out the trunk. The first fast FBI song, the slow What's on My Mind, Fantasies, and a couple more records. You Can Wash Me Out in Oxidol. We did those songs on an EP. And then after we released it, it was like the hottest EP, throughout Michigan. We did it ourselves through, Saginaw, Flint, Detroit, Lansing, Grand Rapids. We did it, hand to hand. And then that's when we got on the radar of Atlantic Records first.
And I gotta say, my favorite songs off What's on Your Mind is actually Watch Your Ass and Billy Blunt, man. I don't know, the wordplay on those songs are just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, man. Billy Blunt, man, was you can see just the type of good dudes we were. The reason for the 2 different beats on Billy Blunt is because we didn't agree. Me and String had a disagreement on what we wanted to rap on. So we had a producer in-house. Steve Pitts was in-house. So we said, okay, String like that beat, I like this beat. We gonna rap the 2 different beats on it, and that's how that came about. And then I incorporated the Inspector gadget in it and went from there.
See, me personally, I was always wondering that when it came to Billy Blunt, why there was two different beats actually on one track. I gotta say, it was definitely phenomenal, and it's definitely a great way as well to actually kind of diffuse any further arguments. Let's be like, let's blend them together.
Yes, man. That's how we work, man. We didn't force each other into no situation. At the end of the day, if he liked something and I disagreed with it, we made it work the way it had to work. You know what I mean? And it was we just had that type of chemistry and relationship that we agreed to disagree on some things, and it always worked in our interest, our best interest.
And also, as well, in 1995, the Dayton family's song "Stick and Move" was actually featured on the No Limit Records Down South Hustlers Bouncin' and Swingin' compilation tape. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about the story behind this opportunity, and of course, how did you guys originally get connected with No Limit and Master P?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: that was the first Gold album that we were ever on. The Stick and Move song was originally going on What's on My Mind album. So he reached out, Master P and No Limit reached out to the Nick's Records and Tapes. It was a tape store in Flint, and that's how they contacted us and asked us to submit a song for the Down South Hustler compilation album. So we submitted that song, and it was the first song he put on the album, the first song P put on there. So that's how that went about. He reached out to us. Back in the day, if you wanted to find an artist, you went through the tape store, the mom and pop stores.
And did you guys ever get the opportunity to actually meet with him face to face, or was everything just kind of over the telephone? And of course, back in these days, there was no email, so did you just kind of mail the reel over, or did you guys actually get the opportunity to exchange, do business in person?
No, actually, we did everything through the mail, like you said initially. But later on, after the album dropped, we did get a chance to meet P face to face. He came here to Detroit, and we got a chance to kick it face to face.
And I gotta say, that compilation album is absolutely legendary, man. A lot of people, in this day and age, they might not listen to it as much as they used to, man. But I really suggest individuals go back and give it a listen if they do have the tape at their disposal, man. Because so many phenomenal songs are on that compilation.
Yes, I agree. It was an honor for us to, get the opening track. You know what I mean? And to this day, man, that's one of my favorite songs of the Dayton family.
And also, as well, on October 1st of 1996, you guys actually released the iconic album FBI. I was wondering if you can actually tell us just the story behind this legendary album. And of course, did you guys think it was going to be as big as it was when it did drop to the general public?
I tell you what, man, when we did FBI, literally we were in that mind state. My brother Matt had got indicted. 4 or 5 of our other friends had got indicted. I got indicted. We were really fighting that battle. That's why to this day FBI still feels good. You can play FBI right now and you'll still get those tingles from it, because everything that we were rapping about, we were in at that time. Harlem Green, the cop that I was rapping about, he really has children by my auntie. He was really eating my grandmother's food. Everything that we rapped about was really we was going through that at the time. And Stream kept the boat floating because I was in prison, Matt was in prison. So I only had a limited amount of time to create the FBI album. I was in state prison, and I was in the transition. I was in a parole from state prison, and I had like a 90-day window before I had to turn myself in to the feds. So when I got out of state prison, I went straight in the studio with Stream. He already had the format of the FBI album set up. He had a lot of the hooks done. That's why if you listen to the album, Stream on a lot of the hooks, the majority of the hooks. So I had to just fill in the empty pieces. So I came out, and I was ready to go. He was telling me the titles and stuff over the phone, so I was writing in there. And when I came home, I just went in there and plugged them in. Poop, 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 poop. And we never anticipated it for it to sell as many albums as it did, you know, without that solid label push that, you know, a lot of other albums get. You know, it wasn't a lot of videos. It wasn't a lot of, you know, they didn't push us like they pushed Bone Thugs and Harmony, you know. So, you know, it was a big difference, and the streets just took on the FBI. It was just so real and so truthful that the streets embraced it.
And if you don't mind me asking, because you said, like, obviously this album got such phenomenal feedback, and of course it sold a lot of units, and obviously once it came out, you guys were unfortunately indicted and in prison. Did you guys actually get money actually sent to you while in prison, or did you have to wait to get your royalty sales when you came out?
Yeah, well, Stream continued to get royalties while we were away. Like I said, I had to fight to get mine when I got out. At the time, I had a large child support debt, so Sony froze child support, put a freeze on all my assets, my income from Sony. So it took me years to fight, you know what I'm saying, to receive those ends, man. But I never was really in the rap for the money. I didn't even really care about that too much because I was a street guy at the time, so I had plenty of money just doing the things that I was doing. You know, rap was more so for entertainment for me initially. I didn't come into rap thinking I'm going to be rich or this is how I'm going to pay my bills or anything like that. I came into it because my heart truly loved expressing myself through music, you know. And so, you know, that's why it's, you know, when I hear my music, it feels so good and authentic to me. It don't feel corny to me because I really know that I told people the honest, you know, living conditions I was in, and, you know, everything I rapped about, the violence and the gangs and drugs, those are really things we were seeing and doing.
And before we move off the topic of this legendary album, I have to ask you about the album artwork. And I was always wondering, as a Dayton family fan, was that album cover actually like a real picture of the FBI unfortunately taking you guys away, or was that kind of like an acted out album cover?
That was acted out. Actually, it would have been dope as fuck if we could have got the feds to really participate. But unfortunately, we got execs from the Relativity to put the FBI jackets on, and they looked it like feds. So as soon as we saw them, we picked them too, you and you, because we already knew how, you know, the imagery of the way they looked, and we went into the courthouse hallway, and we shot it.
And also, as well, in the year 1999, you actually ventured into a solo career where you actually released the amazing album Death Before Dishonesty. I was wondering, what actually made you decide to venture off into a solo career after you got out?
Well, okay. Well, my initial way of thinking was this: when I went to the state prison, I did a lot of writing, and I met a lot of amazing artists in there that was assisting and throwing bars at me, and I created that album in prison. And I knew that my group member String, I love him, and I knew that he had never been, you know, incarcerated or have never been to prison. So I knew that there were some stories that I had to tell on my own. I knew that he couldn't tell those stories with me, or it wouldn't feel authentic. So he agreed, and he gave me space and told me, you know, do what I do. You know, so that's how I got Death Before Dishonesty off. Unfortunately, it got caught in the merger with Relativity and Loud. It didn't get the push that it deserved, you know. But I'm proud of that album. That's one of my favorite solo albums.
And I gotta say as well, I personally really enjoyed that album, and I really do like the album cover as well. How it kind of shows you kind of coming out, and you're like in a suit and whatnot, man. The song Fantasies is actually one of my favorite joints. I
got a story behind Fantasies. Now, initially, you can go online and find it, but initially I did Fantasies with Lisa Left Eye Lopez. I was like in the halfway house coming out of federal prison. Her road manager was a girl named Tibeth, and she was from Flint. And to Beth, I was communicating with Beth from prison, and I was letting her know that I wanted to do the record with Left Eye, and she put it together. So once I got out the halfway house, I paid and flew to Atlanta and stayed at Lisa's house, and we kicked it for a few days, and I actually got the record done. So after I got the record done, it was so fucking amazing but her label wouldn't clear it. You know, they wouldn't give me no clearance. So I went back and I got with Shauna, from Luda, the girl that rapped with Ludacris, Shauna, and we redid it. And that's the one that came out on Death Before Dishonesty, the one with me and Shauna.
And me personally, I actually did not know that you actually had the opportunity to work with Lisa Left Eye. If you don't mind me asking, like, is that version, like, since obviously the internet is now a big thing, has that been since leaked on the internet to be listened to? So
yes, you can go on there right now and Google Bootleg and Lisa Left Eye Lopez Fantasy, and it'll come up, and she fucking killed it, man. I mean, she spelled my name, and it's just so fucking erotic and sexual the way she rapped on it. It's so hard, man.
And I gotta ask this, man, because obviously I don't know why the label wouldn't clear it. I know back in the day labels, they were so like temperamental and they were kind of pathetic to actually deal with. Did they ever give you an actual reason why they would not clear the record, or did they just give you an unfortunate flat out no?
Yeah, they just gave me a flat out no. Now you got to keep in mind at the time I'm a street rapper. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about drugs, guns, and violence. And TLC had a sparkly clean, you know, don't go chasing waterfalls type of image, you know what I mean? So I guess they kind of felt like I might tarnish her image, you know what I'm saying? But they just didn't know Lisa was hard as me, you know what I'm saying? She could have been a gangster rapper too, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, after I met her, man, she was like one of the realest females, man, that I had ever been around, as far as, you know, in the industry, period.
And I definitely got to agree with your statement when it comes to Left Eye. And I got to say, in my opinion, and the reason why I'm saying my opinion is I know when I say this, a lot of the Tupac fans are probably going to come at me. But I really think that Lisa kind of always reminded me of a female version of Tupac.
And listen, I'm telling you from a guy that spent days with her, around her, you are totally right, completely. So they can't come at you for that, because she was definitely embodiment of Tupac, man. The way she moved, the way she treated men, the way she, you know, you would think that she was a guy. The way she, you know, she was solid. You know, top to bottom, she spoke her mind. She was open. She smoked bud. She was real, man. She was definitely real, man. Wasn't nothing phony about her, and she was in tune. You know what I mean? She wasn't one of those people that had false expectations of anything. She knew what life was about, man. She was focused, man.
And also, as well, in the year 1999, you actually had the opportunity to work with the late, great MC Breed on his album, Two for the Show, on the song No Future. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about this collaboration. And, of course, what was it like just being able to work alongside MC Breed?
Okay, well, I don't know if you know or not, but, you know, recently me and Breed won an Emmy for the Bootleg Breed documentary. We just won an Emmy maybe 30 days ago.
I actually did not know that, but definitely congratulations. That's major.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We won an Emmy for a documentary. The Michigan State University, Jerry Valdez, a professor at Michigan State University, approached me about doing a documentary, you know, honoring Breed and his legacy, and myself as well. So we did the documentary, man, and who would have knew, you know, we won the Emmy for Best Topical Documentary. And to answer your question, the No Future in Your Front Part 2 that I did with Breed on my album that was on Death Before Dishonesty, that came about, I bumped into Eric and Flint just riding down the street, man, and I asked him, I said, man, would you let me do the record? You know, a lot of guys have been trying to redo that record, and he wouldn't give it to anyone. This is something that Tasha Breed talked about, his fiance talked about in the documentary, that everybody, lots of big rappers tried to do it, and he wouldn't give it to them, and he gave me permission to do it, and right after we recorded it, I let the label hear it. They flew us all to Atlanta, and we shot the video for it in Atlanta, Georgia.
And I gotta say as well, I still can't believe MC Breed is gone, man. Such a phenomenal, talented individual. It's definitely sad to just knowing that he is no longer here physically with us. But I'm really glad that his music still gets the opportunity to live on and flourish through all of us hip hop fans.
Yes, man, and that's what I say about music too. That's what's so amazing about it, because long after we're gone, yet your voice will still be here. You know, our grandkids and their kids will be able to hear, you know, our voices, man. So that's why it's so important to me to do interviews like this, just to document the the life history and the story, man. Eric was like one city over from me when he passed away. I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan. He was in Ypsilanti, Michigan, and he had a show out this way. He had talked to me the night before, and he was excited to do the show and that type of thing, and when I got the news the next day, it was just the most hurtful thing, man, just to, hear he passed away that way. But we all then fought them demons, man, with substance abuse. And, right now I'm dealing with the same issue, with the kidneys. I'm on dialysis right now, dealing with the same issues with the kidney failure. Just unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to, catch his before it took his life,
And I do want to say, I'm definitely going to pray for you. I'm not really a full religious person, but I'm definitely going to pray for you, Bootleg. You know what I mean? That's never an easy thing to go through. But hopefully, you get the opportunity to get a transplant.
Yeah, that would be my second one. I don't know if you know this, but I had a full heart transplant. In 2013, I had a full, complete heart transplant. So, I've been blessed, man. This journey of life has been, beautiful for me, man, and that's why I'm so in tune with myself spiritually, man, because I've been through a lot in my life, and being incarcerated to fighting the health issues, to just living, trying to be a black man, in the ghetto, where everything is out to get you, man, from whether it's police to other black men to everything. It seems like all the odds are against you. And I'm just blessed, man, to record music for my fans, man. And I'm just humble, and I just want to thank everybody that ever supported us, man, and bought some of our music, or tuned in, just kicked it with us at a show or whatever, man. I'm just truly humbled and blessed, man.
And also as well, on July 14th of 2010, the Dayton family actually inked a deal with Insane Clown Posse's label Hatchet House. For the listeners that might not know this about you guys, how did that record deal actually come to be? And of course, what was it like just working alongside ICP for those times?
Man. I'm working on a documentary right now about that. Now, that was the only Dayton family. We've been in the music industry for 30 years. And that was the first and only tour that we ever been on, was what we got with ICP. Biden J, told let us know that him and Shag had always been fans of the Dayton family. They always liked our music, and I just want to say that it was a learning experience to be able to come over there and work with those guys, man. They taught us so much about merchandising and the importance of touring, and it was a whole lot of lessons they taught us, man. The deal is just a one and out, and to this day, it was the most learning that we've ever done with any label. It was hands on. It was it functioned like a business, man. It was a machine over there, man. And when we went out on tour, man, the fans, man, they got some of the most amazing fans. They embraced us, man, embraced our music. If anybody know how juggalos and juggalettes roll, man, if your music ain't to their liking, they'll boo you and throw rocks at you and bottles, and you got to be a solid motherfucker to go over there in that world, man. And ever since we've been over there, man, they've always showed us love, man. I just did a show Friday in the Juggalo world, man, Lights Out show, and it was amazing, man. It's always amazing. We perform at the gathering of the Juggalos still, and they come out and fuck with us real heavy, man. And we love Juggalos and Juggalettes, man. They just so fucking amazing. That's the best fans in the world to have, man.
And also, I've heard some stories about some of the ICP concerts. They get pretty freaking wild, man. What is one of the most wildest tour stories you actually have just while on tour with ICP?
Oh man, it's so fucking many. I can't even name them, man. I was there with Tequila, got hit in the head with bricks. Man, I've met so many, start from MC Hammer to Ice Cube to Busta Rhymes to everybody, man, on them shows with ICP, man, at the gathering, man. That's when I first met Tech Nine and all those brothers, man. They came to Michigan. We hung out and got in bar fights together. We was in a bar, and some guys peeled the rap off Tech Nine in the van. We got in a bar fight here in downtown Brighton, Michigan, and they still talk about that story today when they get interviewed, man. It's just been amazing, just the people that we've met by, kicking it in that ICP world, man. Right now, Violent J going through a hard time in his life, man, and I just want people to pray for him as well, man, him and his family.
And I do know how I have heard them actually talk about that story throughout their interviews. If you don't mind me asking, would you be able to tell our listeners your side of that? How about Tech Nine's car getting peeled and stuff like that? Would you be able to tell your side of the story? Actually, what we actually have here.
Yeah, man. I mean, it really wasn't a whole lot to it, man. It was a guy, man, that was fucking harassing all while we was in the bar, man. He was fucking just fucking with Chris, man, all while we was in the bar, just following him, and and we understand the difference between somebody that supports you and fuck with you, or somebody that's trying to get under your skin and push you to the edge of fucking him up. You know what I mean? And that's what dude was doing. So after he couldn't get a rise out of Chris, by just picking with him and fucking with him, I guess he encouraged him and a few of his buddies to go outside and fuck with the vans. I don't know why he was on that hating shit. You know what I'm saying? Our van was right in front of the Texan van, and he didn't pill ours. He didn't fuck with our van. We went out to smoke or something, man, and we noticed that they was right there peeling the fucking wrap off the side of the van, man. And Chris and Tech handled, they handled their business, about their van. We didn't even have to get involved. They handled their own business with that.
I gotta say, man, definitely the bar life is definitely a fun time, man. You know what I mean? It's crazy how individuals get when they're drinking, man. Especially screwing with people like screwing with people like ICP and Tech Nine. I think that guy just had a death wish or something.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know what I mean? And they wasn't even entouraged up, man. We was just on some, kick back, chill shit, just at a bar, just drinking and, socializing with the ladies and that type of thing. We wasn't even on that, no bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And, it's always that guy in the crowd that want that attention, you know what I mean?
And also, while we're actually still on the topic of a Hatchet House and ICP, on June 21st of 2011, the Dayton family actually released the phenomenal album titled Charges of Indictment. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about this album, and of course, is it actually still out there to be streamed or purchased today?
Yes, first off, yeah, the album is still out there, man. That album came about, man. You can ask a lot of the artists, man, that was on the labels at the time. They gave us creative control, which is kind of rare over there. Usually it's a whole lot of influence from, Jay prefers, his producer, Mikey Clark at the time, to do most of the production work over there. And he allowed, we explained to him that the Dayton family had a certain sound, and we didn't really care what label we was on. We wanted our sound to be consistent with the way it's been our whole career. And he supported that. He let us work with our own producers to do it. We went in there, man, and we had fun, man. We had fucking fun, doing Psycho and Prostitute Killer and, those records, man. We had a good time making the album. We got a chance to go out on tour, and that was a blessing, man. That whole scenario was a blessing. They say if it's not a lesson, it's a blessing, and that was definitely a blessing for us.
And I gotta say as well, that album, in my honest opinion, it was absolutely phenomenal. I really liked, it kind of, to me, it always sounded like a more mature, just version of the Dayton family, because there were so many years in between, your guys' previous album. It was such a phenomenal project.
Yeah, man, the production was dope, man. With the No Sunshine records and all that stuff, he let us go in there and do what we wanted to do. You know what I mean? And yeah, I loved that. I enjoyed that whole experience, man. That's what music is about, evolving and being able to adapt to whatever situation you're in at the time. And when we were over there, man, that Wicked World was different. It was eye opening, and prior to that, we didn't even know it existed for it to be such a big a big movement. But we didn't even know it existed when we was over there in the urban world, so knee deep into the urban street shit. You know what I mean?
And I gotta say as well, that one song, Blood on My Knife, I definitely enjoyed that song off that album.
Oh yeah, that's my shit, man. Yeah, that's my shit. It took me back to prison days and shit. That's what that was for me. Yeah, man. Blood on My Knife, man. Yeah, a lot of people still talk about that record. As a matter of fact, it was I forgot what rapper, man. I was just talking to a rapper on the phone, and he was rapping that to me. I want to say, man, I can't even, they ain't coming to my mind right now, but one of my rap partners was rapping that to me recently. Yo, everybody fuck with Blood on My Knife, man.
And I think the reason why that album got so much amazing feedback as well is how you guys blended the songs together, man. Like, 'cause right after Blood on My Knife, you had Prostitute Killer immediately following, man. It was just kind of one of those albums that you can just keep going through, and it's all the same type of vibe all the way through.
Yeah, you flipping the pages of it. Yeah, it keeps you. We tried to set the tone and stay there. Well, once we set the initial tone, we just said let's stay right there in that pocket, right there, and just let them turn the pages on it. You know what I mean? And that's how we wanted it to play out like that.
And also, as well, on August 6th of 2021, you actually were featured on a song called Money alongside Cannabis, Razkaz, and a few other individuals. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about this most recently released single. And of course, like, how did you guys get connected with all these amazing individuals?
Projects like that, man, to be quite honest with you, guys build those records. So they might get a feature from me. I don't know who is going to be on or what is going to be on. They give me a title. I'll drop a verse, send them the verse. And then they'll do that to each individual artist, and they'll build a song on their own. That's kind of how they did with me and C Murder. I did never, and me and C Murder, me and Game, me and, a lot of records I got like that where they just gave me a title and and then the beat and just said, do what you do. So, a lot of those records, man, I don't even sometimes get a chance to hear the finished version of them. I just, just know my verse.
And also, I'm pretty sure a lot of individuals are probably wondering the same thing, because of course, the last Dayton Family full studio album was in 2011 with Charges of Indictment that we just spoke about momentarily. But do you guys actually have plans for another Dayton Family album coming up in the future?
I'm gonna tell you this. What I tell all my fans, man, that me and Shoestring love making music, man. We love it, and we got so many more great songs in us. But now, keep in mind when you don't have any label support or financial backing, you have to finance everything on your own, and then putting out music on your own nowadays just isn't profitable. I mean, when you drop a song, when you drop songs on the digital platforms, man, you get like a penny. It takes millions of streams to see $100 nowadays. You know what I mean? It ain't like back when we first started. Every album was $10, and you saw 10 physical dollars on every album sale. It's different now. So me and String, we gotta be in a situation that's worth us doing it. We don't never want to disappoint our fans by doing sloppy music, because we ain't got a budget to get in there and make the best music we can possibly make. So that's the dilemma, just to be honest with you. It is not us being capable of doing it. It's just the fact that we need the support we need to give you great music. It just requires any great album you've ever heard had great support behind it.
And I gotta say as well, I definitely respect that fully, because, like you said, great music is great music. You don't want no sloppy music. And I gotta say, as a Dayton Family fan, I highly respect that. I'd much rather be satisfied with what we have rather than have a Dayton Family album that doesn't live up to the other ones, if that makes sense.
Yep, yes, I do. I totally understand, because that's the way we feel. We talk about it every day. Me and String be on the phone for hours at a time discussing titles, and we talk every day. That's my brother. So we talk about the current climate of rap music and how we feel about the new artists and everything. We talk about everything that everybody else talking about. And when we know for a fact that we can drop an album right now that'll fuck up a lot of the shit that's out here. You know what I mean? But like I say, man, making music, it got to be something that's in your heart. It can't just be something you just doing just for financial gain, or it got to be something that you're feeling. You got to really be in a zone to make good music, if that's understandable.
And also, Bootleg, this is the time in the interview, right quick. I have to ask, man, like, what is next for yourself? Because I do know you mentioned that you just recently were doing a documentary for MC Breed where you actually got a phenomenal, legendary award. But is there anything we happen to miss during tonight's broadcast? Anything else you do still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still got you here live on 97.7 FM this evening.
Well, I would just like to say, man, don't count out hearing a new Dayton Family album, because eventually the right person is going to come to the table with the right company and the right business set, and we're going to give y'all a bomb-ass fucking album. Long as we breathe in, me and String going to make music, as long as we here. So our fans, I don't want y'all to give up on hearing a new dope-ass Dayton Family album, because we're eventually going to give y'all one. I also want to say that you can look forward to us doing a whole lot of stuff in the film area, man. We're going to, trying to get, into the, the documentary short films. We're trying to get something done on the Dayton family, a Dayton family movie, man, so we can go into detail with a lot of the stories that we discussed tonight, man, so y'all can see it, and really see what we did, man, because a lot of people don't know our story, man. We're the most popular, underrated group in the world, man. We sold millions of albums, man, and we've lived a life that people wouldn't even believe, man. I've seen a lot of docu-films out here, and a lot of them can't fuck with ours, man. Just the shit that we've been through and the struggles, man, and the ups and downs, and we still here. All three group members still alive. So, as long as we breathing, man, we going to keep moving.
And I gotta say as well, I would definitely love to see just a biopic of you guys, man. Because like you said, you guys have such phenomenal, rich history within hip-hop, and it's a crazy story as well, but also a good story at that. So I'm definitely all for it. I really do hope us fans actually get the opportunity to see that in full effect before our eyes.
Yep, we're definitely working on making it happen.
And also as well, Bootleg, this is a time in the interview quickly that I give a chance for the individual that does slide into the radio station airwaves, just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to, but most of all your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything Bootleg and the Dayton family, if they're not already doing so.
Well, everything is under my real name, man. My Facebook is Ira James Dorsey. You can follow me there, and then my Instagram is Ira Dorsey. You can follow me there. I'm on TikTok. I'm on everything, man. Usually when you put in my real name, man, everything pop up. I respond to messages, man. For sure, like if you hit me on Messenger, that's actually me. I respond back to all my messages personally. Let me say, man, I'm a hands-on guy, man. And if all you promoters and all those guys and rappers that want features or anything like that, if you reach out to me, man, I'm accessible. And I love to get in there and drop a 16 with y'all, man, so reach out to me.
And I gotta say, Bootleg, thank you so much, man, for just giving us a bit of your time here this evening. I've been a Dayton family fan for a long time, man, even before I even had the opportunity to venture into the music industry. So I just want to say thank you so much, man, for making music that all of us had the opportunity to enjoy for so many years, man. I gotta say, you definitely inspired a lot of people with your story, and I know for sure I'm one of them. So thank you so much, Bootleg, and I'm definitely looking forward to hearing more Dayton family in the future as well.
You're welcome, man, and thank you for having me.
Hey, man, you are most certainly welcome as well, and I hope you actually get back to 110% soon, man. I know I speak for a lot of the fans. You're definitely in our prayers, man.
Thank you.
You're most certainly welcome, Bootleg, and definitely have yourself a phenomenal night, man. I'm pretty sure down the line we definitely shall talk again soon.
Let's do it.